Okay, hey, welcome to American Reversion, where we talk about taking our country back and taking it back the way that it was supposed to be. I have a news item here of great interest to many people. Missouri judge rules COVID mandates are unconstitutional. A lot of people fighting back on this stuff all over the country. We have one out of Missouri here. It's near and dear to me because it affects a lot of people and businesses that I know. It says Circuit Court Judge Daniel Green has ruled that local health officials are no longer allowed to issue mandates related to COVID because they violate the Missouri Constitution. All local health officials must now repeal their previous COVID-related health orders. How about that, right? I tell you what, I'm taking this from 100% fed up, which aren't we all, right? So all local health officials must now repeal their previous COVID-related health orders. That covers a lot of ground, doesn't it? That covers mask mandates. That covers the shutdowns, covers a lot of things. But we'll continue here. Green has ruled that since the Constitution gives separate powers to different branches of government, the current ability of local officials was unconstitutional because the elected officials should be the only ones with the power to issue mandates. In his ruling, Green states, Missouri's local health authorities have grown accustomed to issuing edicts and coercing compliance. Isn't that the truth? It is far past time for this unconstitutional conduct to stop. Compliments to Judge Green. See if he says something else here before I make a little statement. And talking about this came from a lawsuit filed back in 2020 between St. Louis residents and business owners in the State Department of Health and Senior Services. It said the residents and business owners challenged the authority of the department to enforce COVID-related mandates, shutting them down, putting them out of business, putting families out of their support systems. One issue in particular that angered local business owners was the directors of local health agencies were empowered to close down businesses in an attempt to slow the spread of COVID. We've talked about that before, and a lot of you have too. It put businesses out of it put family businesses out of business, many of them forever. They're never going to recuperate. They're never going to come back from the financial devastation that they experienced at the hand of a tyrannical state. He says this case is about whether Missouri's Department of Health and Senior Services regulations can abolish representative government in the creation of public health laws and whether it can authorize closure of a school or assembly based on the unfettered opinion of an unelected official. Green added, this court finds it cannot. Okay. The verdict was met, of course, with great excitement by those who filed the lawsuit, including state Senate candidate Ben Brown, who tweeted out his excitement, saying, "It's finally over, folks. Freedom wins." Well, I hope that's right. I'm not sure. I'm not quite as optimistic as he is. However, freedom did win that fight. People are fighting these all over. I don't know how many states are going through this right now. But it highlights the problem that we're very aware of. The tyranny of governments, whether the government is federal, whether it's local, whether it's state, whether it's county, whether it's city, to just mandate what citizens can and cannot do from a position far outside their lawful abilities. I hope, and most government agencies or most governments have, I don't remember what it's called. Back in my constitutional law days, I knew what it was. Maybe a lawyer on here will remind us what it is, that governments, like judges, cannot be sued for certain things. But this is one of those things that these business owners and these people who were put out of business, people who were put out of jobs, people who lost their jobs, should all be able to sue the state of Missouri or whatever entity enacted these mandates, the county, the cities, whatever, they ought to be able to sue them. They ought to be able to bankrupt these cities and counties. And people will say, but if you do that and the counties and the cities have to pay, then that's just going to be passed on to the taxpayers, who then will have to foot the bill. Well, I'll tell you what, it's probably time that those kinds of things happened, because it was the voters in these counties that put these people in. And if the voters have to take the bite and say, oh, we put these little tyrants in, and now they've cost us millions of dollars, maybe it'll give them a little pause as to who they ought to vote for the next time. It's about time that government be taken to the woodshed, and in a big way. This is the first step towards it. I hope it's not the last. The people involved ought to also be able to be sued, and let's put them out of business like they put a lot of our small businesses out of business. Anyway, that's good news for tonight, the night before Thanksgiving, that Missouri has found all COVID-related mandates unconstitutional. Okay, remember, we're trying to get our country back to the way that it used to be, the way that it should be. America needs a reversion, and it needs you to be a part of it. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.